Second, we are going to gain knowledge from him directly about this book, why he wrote this book, why we have to read this, and most of all, how to get investment from the investors. Right? So that is the goal, and we are doing a professional recording. So this will be distributed across social media. And the good part is it's a very close group, so it can be very interactive. And once this session is over, I would like to all come forward, and this book has been sold. I don't know how many of them paid before, and pay the book. You can get the signature from Dayakar, and also I want to take a photograph holding his book. That is the support we are giving for Dayakar. So let me introduce Dayakar. Dayakar is a serial entrepreneur who went through this path. How to start a business, probably failed a few times and succeed many times. Through that, probably he got the gift of identify the right entrepreneurs. And more than anyone, probably he knows the pain of entrepreneurship. He knows the value of the investment. Probably he knows the value of the support an investor can give to a startup. So with all this background, as per my knowledge, one of the leading firm from Dallas who is supporting startup ecosystem is Dallas Venture Funding. Congratulations for that, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm seeing his team. Our co-chair Sriram is one of the active participant in coordinating Dallas Venture Capital, and I know Sriram for long years. When you associate with an organization, that means that organization must be doing something great. And about myself, mostly you all know me, I am Arun Kumar. Why I chose to moderate is because I personally raised $4 million in seed round, and all from individual successful people. And I went through that path, and I'm very glad to say that there is two VC firms showing interest in investing in Juggle in our Series A. So our experience is also great. And I have people like Dayakar helping me to stay focused, and I get a lot of mentorship on what not to do. Not on what to do, but they know what not to do. So that is very, very important. So we are going to have a very casual conversation. So Dayakar, please come on stage. And so one round of applause, please. Yes, sir. Good evening, Dayakar. Thanks for being here. Congratulations for the Ace the Pitch book. I bought the book last week. I read it.
Wow.
And so I came prepared to put him on spot. The first question is, Dayakar, why this book?
Thank you again. First, I would like to say thank you. American Telugu, Tamil organization really. Especially, this is not the first time coming here for me. It's been a journey almost last 3-4 years. Yes. And just telling Arun, 2 years back, one of entrepreneurs presented at ATEA, and hopefully we'll be able to invest in their company. They're going through, how it is, the process. So we'll be able to announce once it's done. Again, thank you. Thanks for all of you coming. I know it's like a weekday. It's not easy taking your personal time off and trying to work with other, connect with other budding entrepreneurs. So why did I write the book? I think it's a good question. Especially what I felt like, as you know, I gone through working like all of us go through after we're doing my master's in computer science. Worked at Motorola for 10 years. Then started a company here in Dallas, a company called JP Mobile. That's where Sriram used to be part of my team.
Oh, okay.
That's Sriram and both known for last 25 years. That's the association, really amazing kind of network we built here in Dallas. So JP Mobile, 10 years, raised a bunch of money. I'll talk about this when I happened to be right time, right place, to be honest with you, right? This is a company I didn't even know what VC meant, to be honest with you, right? Coming from a technology background, in the family, we never had anybody doing any business other than agriculture, politics, or me working for the government. That's it, right? Pretty much. But coming from that background and raising a $55 million in 2000, I felt like I was like a right time, right place, being lucky. And a lot of other entrepreneurs don't get that opportunity, right? I just happened to be, because mobile messaging was pretty hot in 2000, I was able to raise money. But I know some of my friends, they are better than me actually, within the mobile space. They couldn't raise money. Just happened to be right, like the timing was funny, like we closed the funding in April of 2000, then market was shut down. Pretty much. After that, it kind of went down. Then 9/11 happened. Pretty much was gone for 5-10 years, right? We know after 9/11 happened, pretty much not many startup companies got funded, right? So it's the right time, right place. But what I felt after gone through, ups and downs, we planned to even go public in JP Mobile days, and that did not happen. Right. But really, after going through that journey, I had a short stint at Microsoft. Then I started a venture fund here, as you know. It's in 2012. A lot of my buddies told me this is the wrong place to start in Dallas. I said, like, we are not moving from Dallas. I started a company here. My kids are grown up here, and the Dallas has given me a lot. I want to stay here, start a venture fund here. So after starting the venture fund also, I have seen so many, business plans I receive. Some of them are really good founders. They have really good technology, good people, but sometimes they don't even get an opportunity because, as you know, most of these, deals are reviewed by, hopefully sometimes people like me, but sometimes some junior people also review. They go by the deck, right? Those slides you send them, that gets you in the door, or that gets you a 30 minutes meeting. So I felt like a lot of people are missing that one. So if you look at my book, really, it's pretty much my notes. It's not really, I hope it did not take long to read it, right? It's just a quick, really, how do you create the 10 to 15 slides? If you can get those slides, at least you get an opportunity to present. So write a book it's for people like me who may not get an opportunity. Hopefully they get an opportunity to present it. That's what the book is for, people like me.
Awesome. So he pretty much gave his notes to us. Now I want to add my own experience in seconding what Dayakar said. Our first pitch was around 28 slides. After 28 slides, we felt, we didn't tell anything more, man, we need to add more. And we went to one of our mentors and he asked, Arun, you have to remove 10 slides. 13, period. Don't come and see me if you have more than 13 slides. And I told him, sir, we do so much. I said, doesn't matter. If you cannot say what you do in 13 slides, why people have to invest in 13 slides, don't even try to raise funding. So that is what advice I got, and Dayakar also saying the same. That is very, very important. And he wrote very clearly in his book that how to keep it short. That is super important. So Dayakar, what you look when you look at the pitch, what you look at, how to get the first best impression?
I think really, as we talked about the pitch itself, right? I kind of wrote in the book for each slide what you should put, right? The first thing really I tell people, focus on the problem, right? I kind of call this one a painkiller versus a vitamin. Are you really focusing on that pain point the customer has versus a vitamin? People do buy vitamin, if you don't take a vitamin, you can stay with a few more days. But painkiller you have to take every day, right? So that's where I try to tell people, try to focus wherever you are, right? It's like I talked about he does the roofing. Within the roofing also, there's a technology need to be built. There should be automation to be done, right? If you can partner with somebody, the technologist, that's where you solve a problem, right? You don't have to kind of send a rocket to the moon. That's what I kind of tell people. Don't try to look for an idea which is going to be everyone in the head with $1 billion idea, right? So look for that painkiller which solves a problem, and you don't have to be also VC funded, to be honest with you, right? I know my book is focused on, it could be angel investor, a VC or a growth investor. Some angel investors, you raise money, you never had to raise VC money at all.
No.
You can build a company. You have done it right
Yes,
now, right?
I have done.
And you can get to be profitable. We have some companies we have seen, they never raise VC money, but they've been a profitable company. So I think that's what I really felt really, when we see this entrepreneur, where this sometimes really do not know, like they get confused. Hey, if I don't raise VC money, maybe people don't think I'm successful. No, that's not the case at all. So I think it do have the value of, I need to pitch for VCs. The VCs do add a value, when you raise the marketing wise, branding wise, it makes a big difference. Depending on what you want to do, right? That's what it makes. If you want to build a high growth company, definitely you want a VC money. Because technology changes so fast, as you know.
Absolutely. So your answer is start with your problem statement.
Yeah.
Always start with the problem statement and how painful that is. That is what Dayakar is trying to say is the painkiller, because you are suffering with pain. Only people will spend money. Otherwise, people will not spend money. We learned that in a very, very good, hard way in our business. People will not pay until they have to pay. So always VCs look for is what problem they're trying to solve.
Yes.
So let me ask you the following question, Dayakar.
Sure.
How, as an investor, are you really passionate about the solution the startups are building, or really the problem and the scale of the problem they're addressing?
The two things, I think, like number one is really, definitely you had to look at the problem they're solving, right? Then we had to look for, is this problem big enough, right? I'll give you an example. One of our portfolio company actually started in IIT Chennai. Those guys still talk about what I told them. We invested when they were 21, 22-year-old, right? This started in IIT Chennai labs actually. Company called Hyperwatch. He's the one actually wrote my foreword. If you look at the book. So if you see that company, started in the AI, when AI was not even sexy yet. Right? This is almost 10 years back. They started 2014, focused on really basically deep learning technology, taking computer vision, how you can really solve problems using the pretty much aerial stuff or facial stuff, or also somebody at the ATM machine, if somebody coming trying to steal money from the ATM machine, how they can really prevent that one. So I started with them and we did analysis within India. Even if they get every ATM machine, they can make the whole thing was only $10 million TAM, total available market. So I asked them a question, do you want to focus on 10 million TAM or look for some other solution which can be 200 million? I'm glad they dropped it. They focused on really what we call right now KYC. Now that became really close to $20-25 million revenue business for them within India. So at the end of the day, the TAM is the, we look for, even if you get 5-10% of the TAM, they get $10-15 million versus even 100% would have been only $10 million revenue for the company.
So when I decode the answer, the problem, what kind of problem you're solving, and how many people are having the problem, that is called TAM is. Right?
You put it very well.
Yes. So how many people will be willing to pay? The next one is, yes, they do have pain, but how many people are willing to pay for this pain? That is what the next set of data set investors will look for. So thank you for answering that question, Dayakar. So the next question I want to, how much founders need to exhibit their knowledge on customer acquisition and marketing skill set? How deep you value their expertise or their knowledge?
No, see, look, all of us, especially with our backgrounds, we come from technology background, right? We are a little shy, more introverts. Slowly we learn how to express ourselves lately. But that's where I look for really, or I tell team, you're not going to have all the skills, right? There's no way, we're not going to change. Somebody very good technical person, you're not going to change your, real key skills right away. You can learn it. But that's what I call a three-legged stool. A technologist, finding another partner who can be a good a CEO and a visionary. And also somebody also could be helping you on the, we always look at, hey, I build the technology, somebody will buy it. But you need to also have somebody helping you selling the technology, right?
Correct.
So that's why I kind of call it three-legged stool. You can hold it. Because only two-legged stool, you can't hold it, right? So that's the key really. I have seen my own experience, my first startup, that means first fund, 2012 fund, we have invested some great scientists actually, I will call them, right? Came from Infosys and other companies. We invested in the companies and we noticed like they were not able to get founders or other co-founders. They struggled a lot. I mean, that's where really we changed our strategy, kind of saying like we had to have that three-legged stool, otherwise we would not invest in the company.
Got it. So I wanted to refer a use case or real case when Dayakar answered this question. I'm sure you all must have heard about Canva, the tool we use for designing. And when she came from Australia and pitched to an investor said, I will invest in your startup, but you need to have a tech co-founder. And it took almost 2 years for her to find the suitable tech co-founder. Yeah. And as soon as she found it, she got the money next week, the following week. Having a right investor is super critical, important.
Yeah. Yes.
And as a founder, I'm telling you, sometimes we are afraid of talking to the investor. Do you know why? Because you know that they're going to ask tough questions. Because you know that they're going to put you on spot. They're going to bring you out of your comfort level. And that is what they are. So when you talk about the comfort level, Dayakar, I have a following question on that.
Sure.
How do you bring startup founders from their comfort level?
No, I think that's what I tell the founders to make sure before you go and visit any VC, do a lot of research. So you also should be able to ask them really some good questions, right? What their background is, how they can help you, right? So money, green is green. The money is available. You raised already, right? From angel investors, some good angel investors. By the way, some good angel investors also can be very good, right? Yeah. So there's no question about it. But at the same time, that's what, do some research. Make sure, do they have a knowledge about what you are doing? Let's say you're in the healthcare, do they really, able to articulate their questions within the healthcare, right? For example, we are kind of looking at one company. I did so much research. I didn't know anything about healthcare, but I did so much research to make sure we know what we are talking about. So that's a key. The founder also needs to do their homework before really. Just because VC gave a in a meeting, don't take it. Make sure do your research and go there. Then really that you talked about how do you feel comfortable with the founder, right? I've been telling my team, during COVID, we had to do some investments on Zoom, right? There was no, we could not meet them. But I can tell you, I've been telling our team right now, I will not really approve any investments without meeting the team, period. Because as you know that entrepreneur, the most important thing, I have gone through, I don't want to name, but as I mentioned to you, these 2-3, founders in my first fund, they are good really founders, they had a lot of energy. But what I noticed, they lost sustaining power. After 2 years, they're saying, my wife is complaining right now, I'm not going to soccer games. I'm not making the money I used to make. I'm not going to any vacations right now. It is very hard for me to do this from the Dayakar. Especially when you, first 2-3 years until you get really what I kind of call a Series A, Series B funding, you can't take the salaries you had before in a corporate world, what you had, right? So I think I try to focus on their person side more. Can they sustain really? Because the startup is like a 5 to 10 year game, right? It's a hard one. And it's a marriage, be honest, between the investor and the founder, really, right? Can I really put up, or can they put up with me for 10 years? Because sometimes it's going to be hard, some hard questions. You're going to run out of money. You're not able to raise capital. Can they really cut down their cost? Can they take low salaries, what they got? So I've been through that one because, I raised so much money, but burned a lot of money. Then I had to cut down. I didn't listen to my CFO when he was telling me, don't burn the money. But then I looked at at the end that even the $100,000, $200,000 savings made a huge difference.
Got it.
Right.
So if I want to decode what Dayakar said, he genuinely invests in the founders.
Yeah.
So many people told me, I was sweat like explaining what juggle is and all those things, and after 10 minutes, that investor will say, Arun, can you please stop? I know you are passionate about this product. We are not investing in the product. More than a product, we're investing in you. So that is what Dayakar just said. Without him meeting the founders, he would not approve. Because he needs to have the feel, he needs to have the connection to the founders so that he knows how founders will face the challenges. And always Steve Jobs said, startup is not for everybody. That is one of the toughest job in the world. Everyday challenges. But if you know how to do it, that is the best job in the world. So Dayakar, so when we had an interaction, you told that you wrote this book even for the startup and also for the youth,
Yes.
right? What sparked you the thought? Why you have to write this book for the youth?
Very good question, to be honest. It's very personal for me. This is when I started the fund. I didn't have any employees because I could not afford to hire anybody. One of these, Texas A&M graduate, he called me and sent me an email. I want to work for you. I said, like, I don't have money to pay you. And he said, like, no, I want just learn, really work for you because you've been through entrepreneurial journey. I want to see what you're going to do. So he said, like, I'm willing to work for $3,000 per month. The guy graduated with a business degree. So he joined and then worked for me. Amazing job he did, but he also taught me a lot of stuff. That's what sometimes we think when you're getting older, hey, we don't have to listen to our own kids. We should listen to our kids. They really teach you a lot of stuff. So I felt the youth has a lot of stuff. Sometimes we ignore. As a kid, like what they know, right? But I think I felt I learned a lot from him. And after that, pretty much, even though we're a small fund, every summer we've been doing this, entrepreneurs for young entrepreneurs, especially, taking even high school kids. Some people told me, when you take these high school kids, too much work. They are not serious about it. You can't learn, they'll not be able to produce much work. Same thing, college kids. But I can tell you, we're actually planning to, profile all these kids who worked over, even though we're taking 3-4 kids, they had done a wonderful job. No. And they learned so much. I'm happy to tell you, few of them already started their own companies.
Awesome.
Okay? 3-4 of them have joined other VC firms. So that's what the main satisfying for me more than anything else right now. These kids really, from Dallas, as you know, we don't have that many opportunities in Dallas, in the venture world, right? Mm-hmm. So I felt like if we made a difference with these high school kids, college kids. So I felt that's what I've been telling all my friends. Send it to, your kids' college and ask them to read it. So that's the reason, like the youth said, I felt, because it's more of a notes, right? It's not really a pretty sophisticated book.
Got it. So one thing I remember when Dayakar said that when we name product Juggle, the one person which I really struggled to convince is my son. We listed every product and I will text him and then he will not respond to it. That means I know that he didn't like it. And then I called him, man, I sent so many names, why you didn't even respond to me? Appa, I didn't like it. That is not connecting with me. Yeah. I said, okay man, let me go and work. So as soon as we said Juggle, he put a smiling face and said, Dad, that's it. So, but anyway, that is a different story.
Really, my second son, I'm telling you, he's the biggest critic of me. Yeah. Even how I dress, what I do.
They are our protectors.
Like when I wrote a book, did you do chat GPT on this stuff? I was like, bath and that. That's the way they are. So, anyway.
So, this will be my last question and we will open it for the floors. And Mr. Dayakar has to leave for his next meeting. So, that is what I'm keeping my question to minimum, and then we will open it for the floors and maybe a couple of questions followed by we can take a photograph with this book. So always the valuation is the tricky part, right? Always. And so in our case, we came up with a valuation, and one of the first angel investors' brother is an M&A. And he's also, I will call it as Anna. And then I said, Anna, this is what we think. But whatever you say, we will go with it. And then he gave a number, and I said, okay, we'll go with it. No question asked, no arguments, and that is how we started our valuation. And when investor says, I said, I will tell the same story, and they'll say, okay, I will go with the same valuation. So I know the valuation is a general question, but if you can help us to share your knowledge on what kind of valuation mindset founder should have.
Sure, I think that's one of the things I feel like really, right, our community could use some help, right? Like we always really think about, of course, you start the company, you should own majority of the company. That's where my main principle is, the founders should have the majority even after they do the Series A and even close to B also, right? But it's all depending on what you have done, right? So what I have seen, some founders, they do a lot of good work, build the product for 1 year. Nowadays, as you know, we are seeing companies are getting built within less 6 months right now. With Gen AI stuff, like they're able to generate the code and build the product and come to the market, and it's just amazing how fast they are growing. I'm not saying like every company is going to grow like that, but in the basic, the way I look at really, depending on when do you want to raise capital. Do you want to raise capital really on the just a concept first, or maybe have a deck? Then there's you will definitely kind of have to look at like taking 20-30% dilution, right? If somebody says like, hey, really, I want to own the company, work for me, don't talk to them, right? You had to be still the owner, the majority owner, especially as the founder or founders, right? So we look at like a pre-seed, seed, and then also A and then B, right? But I can tell you now, it's amazing how some of these labels are blurring right now. There's no kind of, sometimes nowadays seeds are raising like a $5-10 million.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And we are talking to a company, we thought it's a Series A, he's raising $25 million. But I think I can tell like some smart founders, as you mentioned, you go and talk to first some of you can be friendly other M&A people or really other venture capitalists. That's what I keep telling, don't go rush really. Make sure like you talk to your friendly. There are people, like they're willing to talk to you when you don't want to raise money.
Got it.
When you had to raise money, then you rush, you make mistakes. Start talking to people even when you're thinking about it, how much I'm going to dilute in the seed round. Some of them not even doing the seed rounds, to be honest with you, right? Some of them going to Series A, right? So it's all depending on how much you're willing to dilute. But I would say in a seed, you would dilute 20-30%. Then you dilute again maybe 20% in Series A, right? It's all depending on where you are, right? If you have progress from that concept to a prototype, MVP product, and MVP to few customers, maybe 5-10 customers, it makes a difference. For that investor, most of them, I'm telling you, VCs, they want to be fair to the entrepreneur, right? They're really not trying to grab really the company. I know it's kind of people feel like, man, these venture guys are trying to grab company. But that's not the case. We are built to make sure like work with you, because we want, if the company is successful, if the funders are successful, we're going to be successful, right? And that's the way I look at it. Like, so, but make sure like really kind of learn, you will dilute, right? How much you want to dilute depending on how much you're willing to put your time, your own sweat equity or your own money. And then, but the only problem is, as you know right now, the especially technology moving so fast, unless you become the leader, I kind of call like always in the software category, the top 3 leaders take the 80% of the market share. Then the 20% goes to that 80%. So do you want to have the whole bread loaf, or you want a crumbs? So I think depending on that, like you have to move fast. Not every company need to move that fast, but some of them need to move fast, especially in the Gen AI stuff. It is just crazy right now.
Got it. So, sorry, I have to ask one more question because this answer is interesting. You slightly touched the timing in your last answer. It's not about idea. It's not about the problem. Timing matters a lot. So YouTube is not the first solution to provide the video thing. Probably 3-4 years ago, the company came and launched YouTube Idea, but they failed miserably because the bandwidth was not available to the common people. And when the YouTube period started, the bandwidth was available. It picked up like crazy. So timing is very important.
Yes.
So Dayakar, when you try to invest in a company, how do you validate the timing? What data point you look for?
That's a very good question. Especially, always look for within this next 2 years, will there be a market for this one? Again, we had to kind of look at where the puck is going, but same time invest in right now, right? Otherwise, you're going to miss it. I'm happy to tell you. Even I gave you about Hyperwatch. This was in 2014. Even like one of the companies we invested. This is a Orlando and Hyderabad-based company called Core.ai. Last year they raised $150 million, right? Became a unicorn. But the conversation AI in 2018 was not that hot. But we invested in that company, and during COVID, they became a painkiller for a lot of big companies because a lot of their call centers were shut down. Close to 30% of the calls were able to cut down by Core.ai, right? So that's the key really right now, right? The timing is, as I mentioned, my own company, I was happened to be right time, right place.
Correct.
And as you know, in this book also, I gave some examples. Uber would not exist without mobile,
correct,
without cloud, right? Airbnb would not have been existed without mobile and cloud, right?
Correct.
So I think there's a key really how you ride on that wave. You want to ride on the wave, or you want to after the wave is done. So that's really important, especially in technology curves. And if you miss that one, then it's going to be really hard to raise capital. So as I said, my own company in the mobile and messaging was hard, but some people missed it.
Got it.
So I was one of the lucky ones, got in the right time and able to raise a lot of money and able to survive, then able to exit it. But some of them could not even get there. So that's where really, the only thing is we went through that ups and downs I talked about.
Got it. So probably this is an important data point should go to your pitch. If you could see that the wave, please add the data point to your pitch.
Yeah.
That will definitely get the attention of the investors.
Yes.
To refer this, I'm going to share my real-time experience in Juggle. Malaysia, we launched Juggle in Malaysia. And so we met an Tamil youngest prime minister of Malaysia. He became prime minister at the age of 27.
Wow.
He's very young. He took a lot of initiatives.
Wow.
And we have a common friend, and we had a very good conversation. And then he asked, what are you doing? And then I presented Juggle. And then he says, you know what? Malaysia government will sponsor 2.5 million ringgits, which is close to $600,000 for first year subscription for Juggle.
Wow.
You go find 400 companies and install Juggle.
Wow.
This happened in 45 minutes.
That's very good. Congrats.
The reason why the timing is because they made this electronic invoice mandatory for all the businesses. So every invoice they raise, they have to update to the government. That is coming. Yeah. So the budget is also there. Now company is also there. Now my sales team and customer success team in Malaysia finalizing all the nuances for invoices, and probably we go very big there in June and July. So all I'm saying is the timing. So Dayakar, now we will open the stage for the questions. Any questions, feel free to share.
So what do you think about this AI, lot of innovation happening? I just started asking that question, right?
Yes.
There are AI opportunities in AI. So overall, it could give an idea to be helpful for everyone.
Sure. So if you look at all of you gone through this technology curves, right? When I came to this country, I used to do the programming on the mainframe, right? You submit your job, the next day hopefully the results will come, right? In printed format. I know maybe some of them younger than me, maybe never seen that mainframe stuff. I used to write programming in Fortran language, right? So then we saw client server. Then we saw the mobile and the cloud made a huge difference, right? Without mobile, without cloud, we would not have had so many applications we all are using today as a consumer and also as an enterprise, right? It's funny, when we launched my first company, JP Mobile, we had to go to JP Morgan Chase, some of these CIOs, and explain to them why they should give mobile email to their employees. Guys used to ask me, what is the ROI for me? Tell me. You think any CIO will ask their right now, not giving mobile email on their phone right now today? I don't think anybody, it will work for the company. They say you will not have email available, not available on your phone, right? So every enterprise need to make sure, get ready, So that's what we focused on. Enterprises need the email. That means they had to have security. The enterprise should be able to log the device, right? To make sure like this, the device is secure because you're putting a lot of enterprise data on it. So that's what helped us, right? To make sure not only providing that mobile messaging on the device, but also how you secure the device, right? Same thing now you are seeing this AI, right? AI has been there, as like a lot of us, when you did your master's in computer science, we have written a lot of theses about it, but never could prove it because we didn't have the computing power. Now so much computing power available with the cloud and other stuff. So now AI become reality. Now Gen AI really become reality. One thing I can tell you, nobody thought it's going to go this fast. Even Google did not think, to be honest with you. Now like how Microsoft really done with the open AI stuff. So this Gen AI is going to every place you can think of. For me, a best example is my cousin never used a computer. He never even used a mobile email and all that. He was telling me, this is in India, my cousin in India, he was telling me he is using right now voice on ChatGPT, asking questions and getting answers in the local language too. So that's what really, it is going and changing every part of the society. We can call a co-pilot or whatever you name it, right? So it's interesting, I was talking to one of the entrepreneur that day, he was telling me on Sunday, I get very lonely as a founder. I've been asking ChatGPT some of these questions. Then he's answering me saying like, hey, you have a founder syndrome. Okay, so you need to get out of it because you want to control everything. It's amazing, right? How it is becoming scary actually. What's happening, right? Amount of the data is able to process and come back to you and all. So if anybody tells you, don't worry about the Gen AI comes and goes, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be part of our life everywhere. It could be health, legal, you name it, right? I heard about already these numbers right now. Almost more than 50% of the code is generated by, Gen AI right now, right? Every company is using, right? So many tools are getting built in that area. Companies have become, like a $0 to $100 million revenue. It's crazy. I don't know how much you've been following, but this company's revenue who started any, development platform side of it, revenue have grown like unbelievable. So, is there a hype? Of course there's a hype always, right? Whenever a technology curve comes, I'm pretty sure you have seen this Gartner hype cycles. You get into this hype stuff, you just have to make sure that's what we try to make sure we're not investing only in the hype companies, right? That's where you have to make sure invest in companies which is going to sustain that revenue too. Not only just getting $3-4 million revenue, but can they go from 4 to 10, 20, 30? So that, if you building it or somebody building anything in Gen AI, we love to look at it. Even if you don't invest, we try to help you kind of validate. That's one thing we've been trying to do in Dallas a lot. And please, let us know if you know anybody, starting in the Gen AI side.
No, I have next one ready.
Please.
Thank you, Darren. Very simple question. I think we talked before also. Whenever we think as value, next to value, because either Bangalore or other parts of the world, why we are not making Dallas the next Silicon Valley? And what efforts TVC is doing to make that a reality?
It's a very good question. To be honest with you, as you can see, I'm very passionate about Dallas. But again, really, we are a fund. We have taken somebody's money, people like your money. We had to make sure that money invested in companies and hopefully grown and return back to our investors with the profits, right? So we've been trying to invest in Dallas and Texas too. We have done some companies, but it's been very hard. I'll tell you that in a very simple way. It's somehow, Dallas is a very comforting place. People, I can see there's so many good, smart people like you. They want 8 to 5, go home and watch Tamil movie, Telugu movie, and done with it, right? So that's a culture. No, not you may be an exception, I can tell you, right? That's what we've been kind of struggling, and we've been, working with, to be honest with you, like even when we started the fund, we started working with the UT Dallas. We created this launchpad program, and if you go to UT Dallas, you will see our logo is there as a Naya Ventures, but because our fund name used to be Naya Ventures. So we've been trying to do with the SMU also, we have a program right now. With UT Texas, University of Texas in Austin also we have a program for entrepreneurship. We've been trying to work with some of these large companies too, how we can work with them, how they can innovate some of the stuff and spin off some technologies too, because so much of IT stuff is happening in Dallas. Unfortunately, especially B2B side, what Seattle has done, we can do the same thing here. Seattle, as you know, not like this, but now you can see there's so many B2B software companies being built in Seattle right now. So hopefully we can do, but we want to see more funds started here too. Not only Dallas Venture Capital, hopefully some of you guys also started the venture funds too. But that you need the capital, you need entrepreneurs, you need the rest. We do have other ecosystem where I say like customers, we have it here. That's the one value we try to tell the companies we are investing in India, ask them to come and have a head office here. We have done this. One of the company called Hippo Video, we made the CEO to move here and make the headquarters here right now. So in that way, they can also hopefully encourage other people too. It is interesting, right? I've been an entrepreneur here for a long time. In telecom days, there used to be a lot of startups here in Dallas. I don't know if you know or not, but it used to be called Telecom Makkah in Dallas, pretty much in 7 mile range. 70,000 engineers used to work. Alcatel, Lucid, Motorola, you name any big telecom company used to be in Dallas. Like my partner here really, Ramin also used to be in telecom, Ram used to be in telecom, we all from telecom days. Unfortunately, we did not move from telecom to software. That's what the way we missed as a Dallas really, So hopefully, we can start, doing some more events like this will help. And we are trying very hard on that one.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking is when I was meeting a VC back in Vegas, the first thing she said is, if you're starting a company, move to SFO.
Yeah, I know.
Like what I meant is, like we have late stage investment funds. What we are missing big time is the early stage startups funds, like a fellowship or some kind of an incubator. We need to think about how do we build that early stage pipeline. Once you start having a big early stage pipeline, then the funnel will go to the next stage. So if you solve that problem, then you can see a bigger ecosystem. Just a suggestion.
I think I can answer for ATEA for that question. You know how many people are here? We have around 950 people in our group, and we know who is the speaker. And this is a very valuable interaction from my perspective. This could have impacted a lot of people. And as Dayakar said, people are okay with their comfort level. In Silicon Valley, when you go and talk to your friends, they ask, did you saw the movie? Did you try this new restaurant? That is a conversation in Dallas. When you go to the Silicon Valley, what startup you're working on?
Yes.
It's not like, how are you? They don't ask the question, how are you? I said, how is your startup? When you're exiting. That is the conversation in Silicon Valley. That is we call it as a peer pressure. Here peer pressure is get a beautiful home, where vacation you are going, That is the peer pressure here. Do you have a Tesla? You don't have a Tesla, you are not an Indian man, So, but there in California, you have to be part of a startup. You see the vibration there. Oh boy, I went to the SaaStr conference last year. People are phenomenal.
Yes.
All the tech people, they attend the conference, they keep programming for a startup. They attend the conference, programming for the startup. I asked a guy, he's a young guy, I told that, what are you doing when you came here to attend this conference? Why? He said, no, I am the two-person startup. I have to learn and I have to do the programming. I have a deadline to release.
Yeah.
When you go into that ecosystem, you will work. Yeah. And ATEA is trying to create that ecosystem. Please help us to create that ecosystem. Yeah. We will do it. Yeah. We will do it.
No, there are the ATEA is doing a great job. Then, as I said, I met this entrepreneur here 2 years back, right? So hopefully we'll be able to invest. Then,
one last question.
Yeah.
Thanks, I really learned a lot. Arun kind of said about the investor, the people and the team. As an investor, right, I want to know, many of us look at the Shark Tank and all the first impression they do or not. Obviously, you don't do this. What kind of bodies, movements and signals that we get that you are interested in the team or the people so you can follow?
Very good question. I mean, that's, that human psychology is very important, right? Like when you're meeting this investor as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure, be authentic. You don't have to put up any show. Be yourself, but like be prepared and be confident. You don't, just because they're investing money, you don't have to be nervous. That's what I have seen. A lot of people get nervous and really, they totally, miss who they are. They try to talk about only business. Tell your own like a personal story. Why did you start? One of the founders, I can tell you, a company called DICE. We invested in India. He talked about how he lost mom and dad in a car accident. Even at the basically kind of a devastation he had, but still he did not give up his dream. That's what you're looking for, right? The founder, even the hardships, will he go that extra mile to make sure like the company survive, right? That's what like really. I remember one time I didn't have enough money and I had to borrow from my friends $30,000 to pay the payroll. So that's what you want to look for a founder. Will they stick around, right? There will be some hard times. So I just kind of would like to say the number one, we kind of look at 4 T's. First one is the team, the TAM, traction, and the technology. You can say I put the technology fourth actually. Right? So a lot of us, we know that we keep technology for given, granted. We think like most of these people, they build technology. But the team is the most important thing for us.
Awesome, sir. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And I want to really thank Dallas Venture Capital for funding and supporting ATEA, not funding, sponsoring ATEA. They are the continuous sponsors. So thank you so much, Dayakar. And we need to take a photograph holding a book. And how much the book is? $10 the book is. And please grab and let's take a group photograph and then we can get a signature from him. So that's okay. So can we all take a grab photo? Sorry, book.
Thank you. Thank you all of you for coming.
Thank you, Dayakar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead of this.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we'll get the mic from you. And the other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Raghu, right?
Raghu.
Right. Thank you.
Let me unplug you there.
Okay. What's his name?